Hey everyone, welcome to this episode on Cats of I gotta do it again.
This is the Cats and Pudding Podcast. A melting pot of pudding. And now, here's Jen.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Cats and Pudding, and today I have a great guest. We have JJ from JJ's Own. She's wonderful. She has a great dressing food line and and you're making an even bigger food line now, right? You're starting to add other products to your food line.
I added most recently a flour crack to the dressings.
Wait, a flour cracker?
Yes, it is a seasoned flour.
Wow.
That you could use with chicken, with your vegetables. You could put it in the air fryer. You can fry it, but it's amazing. I call it JJ's flour crack because it's so addicting. It's so addicting.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's great. Your dressings are delicious. I got my first taste of it actually at Brenda's house when we were. That was the first time I met you. And Brenda, we have a mutual friend, Brenda K. Star.
Yes.
And we have a couple of other mutual friends. Some of the girls on the Housewives.
Yes.
I'm very close with Dolores. You know Dolores.
Yes.
And her dressings are phenomenal. How did you start this whole thing? How did this all happen?
Oh, let me take you back like 12 years now. So I basically really started with $500 and a dream. I wanted to be a household name. I wanted to make something that everybody would love, the adults, the children. And when I tell you $500 and a dream, that's how it started. I used to own a cafe, and I used to make, these things in the cafe.
And this was in Jersey?
And this was in Jersey, in Garfield, New Jersey.
That's where you grew up, in Jersey, or were you from originally Brooklyn?
Listen, I'm Jersey all day, every day. I say it all the time. I'm Jersey all day, every day. But I born and raised in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. I live in the same town my whole life. I serve as the vice president of the Board of Health in the town that I live in. I'm all about the community, the people, but I wanted to be a household name, and people would come into the cafe. It was called the Lunchbox Cafe.
That's so cute.
And I had little lunch boxes, around the store, and they would ask me for if they were having parties, could you make that dressing or could you make that mayo that we had with the sandwich? And then I just decided.
And you always loved to cook, you just started
honestly, I was in the mortgage business back in the day. And
that's a big jump.
It was a big job, yeah. And it kind of plummeted, And for the first time in my life, I found myself laid off. Okay. And I started to watch the Food Network. And I feel like I've never been to school. I'm not a chef. But I feel like I'm a sponge. I watch something, I absorb it. And, I'm very good with flavors, I can get into the test kitchen and put all these flavors together and come up with something amazing. These dressings and marinades, I've made all 6 of them. I've created all 6 of them. I feel like I know how to put all the flavors together.
That's why they call you the Flavor Rican. I love that.
Yes.
That's great. And I love your hat. I love your sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get one of those. And you brought me such great. I love my gifts here.
Yes.
Your little tote bag. I love.
Yes.
So cute.
So this is I hope I leave you hungry with every bite. So I do food reviews on TikTok.
This is great.
And that's what I say at the end. I hope I leave you hungry with every bite,
love it. This is great. And then you gave me a towel. I love the towel.
The beach towel.
Because I'm always at the beach all the time.
Listen, I want everybody to represent the Flavor Rican at the
I'll be
beach.
Representing this at the beach.
Yes.
In my beach in Rockaway and in the Hamptons, I'll be there. I
love it. Listen,
so cute.
I was just in the Hamptons this weekend.
The Hamptons is great.
I loved it. We ate our way around the Hamptons.
You were in Southampton?
I was in Southampton and I was in Riverhead.
Okay.
And what an experience. So much fun. We went to all different places. We ate lobster. We ate ice cream. We ate shrimp.
There's a lot of good food out in the Hamptons.
A lot of good stuff.
A lot of big foodies. A lot of Michelin chefs out there.
We just went to Rocco Despiros, Il Pelicano in Southampton.
How was it?
He's a 5-star Michelin chef. He's
excellent.
Delicious. Yeah. I have to tell you, when I first looked at the menu, I was a little skeptical. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. it surpassed everything. I mean, it was amazing, and he was there, and he's absolutely a doll.
Yeah,
he's
a nice guy.
Nice
I've met
guy.
him before. My brother-in-law is a chef. I don't know if I've told you this before, but he was a chef for years. He went to school. He went studied in Italy, and then what he does is he places chefs all over the country.
Yeah.
He places now, and now he's doing like hostesses, which is very important for restaurants to have a good hostess and a good manager. But he's like friends with Rocco. He knows he's good friends with Molto Mario. Like he's been on Ready Set Cook before. But when we go to a restaurant, we get like the tasting menu when we walk in there. Like that's which is amazing. So
you want to taste everything,
right? You want to taste everything.
Yeah.
So I just love that whole world. I wish I was. I'm like I guess I'm a miniature connoisseur with food, but it's just amazing that world. It's like they're artists, these chefs. They
are, and you know what? Me as a content creator, also with the business, I love to taste all these creations that they make. I mean, I'm a foodie all the way.
Yeah.
I travel, I taste food, food from all over the place. I just did most recently a 30-day bagel challenge.
Oh, cool!
And it's fun.
Where was the best bagels? They better be got to be in Brooklyn.
Actually, I'm going to tell you, the winner of that was P.O. Bagels in Staten Island.
Really?
Yes.
Did you go to Brooklyn?
Yes, I went to a place in Brooklyn. So I went, we did a 30-day, every single day. So it was my sandwich.
Okay.
It is an everything bagel with lettuce, tomato, bacon well done, cream cheese, and oil and vinegar. It is so good. And every day for 30 days, I went into a different place. And at the end of the challenge, I rated my top 3. Yeah.
So Staten Island was number 1.
Staten Island was number 1, yeah.
And what about 2?
2, I believe it was Jersey, a bakery, Rockland Bakery, maybe. Bakery. Honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe it might be in a place in Carlstadt, New Jersey, but it's, it's all about the water.
That's what I was just going to say. I was going to say because the water makes the difference.
I mean,
New York bagel is a New York bagel.
Listen, I traveled, all around, and, when you're not in New Jersey, New York, there's nothing that tastes the same. Nope. You need a dirty water dog, right? You have to eat a hot dog in New York, right?
100%. On the beach.
The pizza.
Too.
The pizza.
Yep.
Right?
The pizza, there's nothing like pizza in New York.
And the bagels. I mean, they're hard to find. It's just like a Jersey all day, every day.
It's so true.
And I don't know about you, but like I have a controversy with, is it Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, or is it pork roll, egg, and cheese?
I would say it's pork roll cheese.
You killed me.
Yeah,
I say Taylor ham. I'm Taylor ham all day.
I say that. But it must be a New Jersey, New York thing.
I think so.
That's still. There's a couple of differences between them.
Yeah, I get a little controversy in the comments.
But like you said, the water is a big deal because look, any restaurant. Florida, there was actually a restaurant in Florida that was importing the water from New York. They got in big trouble.
There is a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do that because it just doesn't taste the same.
No, it doesn't. The bread doesn't rise the same. It's just
the
nothing.
Texture's not there.
The texture's not there. It's just whatever it is. It's just nothing.
It's
like
true.
It.
It's
right?
true. No, I agree with you. The water's everything.
Where do you think the best pizza is right now? It's got.
Listen.
Not the city no more. I'm sorry. There's no more Manhattan.
I'm going to tell you, I love L&B.
They're not as good as they used to be.
You know what? I have to tell you, I can't tell you what they used to be because I'm kind of new to it. I think back in the day.
I love them, but they're not as good as they used to be.
I feel like I love. Listen, and it's a different type of pizza. Mm-hmm. It's a square. It's a Sicilian opposed to a regular slice. Mm-hmm. But I feel like
I love you, L&B, but
I love L&B. I feel I love to sit out there in the courtyard. Mm-hmm. It feels like old school. Feels like home. Yeah. You sit down, you have some pizza, but I love it. I love the doughiness of it and the crisp of it. Look, their pans must be seasoned as all shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But honestly, like. I've eaten a lot of pizza, in a lot of different places. And New Jersey and New York are my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
without a doubt.
Without a doubt,
yeah,
right?
Down the shore, Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Seaside, those huge slices,
Yeah.
I love the pizza from Jersey, from New York.
There's a pizzeria that you gotta visit. It's used to Tortone's in Neptune Avenue in Brooklyn. You want to talk about but they only sell it by the pie. They don't sell it by the slice.
Okay, and is it
like
a straight when you hold it? Does it flop?
No,
because
it doesn't
it's a
flop.
difference.
No, it doesn't flop. But it's now when you so this is also a Brooklyn thing. Do you fold over your pizza and eat it, or do you eat it straight?
I actually do the fold.
Okay, good.
I do the fold. I do the fold.
That's an East Coast Brooklyn thing, and that's how you know when people are from New York if they fold over their pizza and eat it. That's a thing.
I'm definitely a fold over.
There you go. I love that.
Yeah.
So you're Italian in the heart too.
Listen, I have so many Italian friends. I feel. Yeah. I feel like, being Puerto Rican and Italians is so much alike.
Very.
You talk Spanish, you talk Italian, you kind of understand each other, and
true.
I feel like the cultures together,
they do connect.
They do. Absolutely.
They do connect. They definitely do.
They tell me sometimes, they're like, are you Italian? I said, no. And they're like, I never met a Puerto Rican that used their hands so much.
Because I
use my hands.
You do.
Yeah,
but you do talk with your hands a lot.
I say, if I have to come back as another nationality, I say I'll be Italian, right? I mean, listen, I love being Puerto Rican, the Flavor Rican. I love my heritage. I love Spanish food is my favorite.
Spanish food is good.
It's my favorite. It's got so much flavor. I love Spanish food. That's my first go-to. But
is that how you started developing the dressings?
No, actually has nothing to do with that. I just wanted to be a household name, and I wanted to make something that everybody would love, and it's been a long road.
Yeah.
How
did you develop them? Like, what started it?
So, after being in the cafe, I went into Whole Foods. I started in Whole Foods. I went into Whole Foods and I looked at what they had because I wanted to make something that they didn't have. So I created my first dressing, and it was the basil vinaigrette, right? I went to the test kitchen. I made 2 recipes of it, and I ended up choosing the first recipe. And that's my first dressing. And from there went the second one, the cilantro lime, the white balsamic, the ginger soy, the honey mustard, and the house red wine. So I have 6 flavors. I have 6 flavors.
You have 6 flavors.
So I started with $500 in a dream and 1 flavor and 1 Whole Foods. 12 years later, fast forward, I now have 6 flavors and a website that sells around the world.
That's amazing.
But getting there was not easy, I mean...
Yeah.
This is why I wear this shirt, and this is why I tell everybody, I never gave up. I've been knocked down so many times that, getting up probably wasn't even an option. So many people along the way said, just give up. It's not going to work. The numbers don't make sense. But in my mind...
It made sense.
It made sense. I knew that I had a product that was amazing, and that if I could get it out to the masses, that they would love it. And, currently my website has only been open for about 3 years now. Mm-hmm. And in 3 years, we are at 16,000 orders.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's a lot, and a lot of them are returning customers. And with social media and being on TikTok and creating recipes and doing that, a lot more people know who I am, and they support, and they go and they end up loving it.
Yeah. Are you doing any besides running the because you have a factory, obviously?
I have a store,
but
yeah.
Also a place that you bottle the dressing and everything else.
Everything is under one roof. We make
That's a big deal to people.
We bottle it and we ship it out. Everything is there. And most recently I moved into a new location, and I thought was going to be, home.
That was it.
I thought it was going to be home.
And what part of Jersey?
It's in Woodridge, New Jersey, Bergen County.
Okay.
5 minutes away from home,
right.
It was a great location. My childhood friend owns a business a couple doors down, so it felt good.
Felt like the right thing.
It felt like the right thing. I started to move in. I started to renovate the place. And 2 months later, I get a knock on the door from a management company that the person that I signed the lease with went into foreclosure. And now they
There
own the
you are.
property.
Wow.
And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, what does this mean for me? And they said, no problem. You could stay here. You'll just, have to deal with us. And, okay. I was like, cool. I continued to do what I had to do. I was finally ready to go into the town to get my CO to like officially kind of open, and I was going to renovate because I wanted to do retail because now I have merchandise, and I wanted the customer to be able to actually come in and purchase the dressing, because right now you can only purchase the dressing online. If you're local, you can come into the store and pick it up, but right now it's just online. Well, when I went to get the CO, they told me that the owner had owed back taxes, and they refused to give me the CO, which left me to have to shut down JJ's Own. And for me, I mean, it's been my whole life, like the last 12 years of my life, I've dedicated my heart and my soul to this business, and to have to shut it down is, crucial for me. Yeah. It's my livelihood.
Yeah. I mean, this is your dream.
It's my dream, and as I sit here today with this shirt on, the one thing you'll never see me do is give up. I say, life gives you lots and lots of things, and sometimes it gives you a bad deck, and the way you handle yourself and the situation is really the way it's going to go. I get up every day and I thank God for the breath that He's given me. And I just, I try to take whatever comes my way. I've learned a lot of valuable lessons along the way, about people, just about business, about a lot of things. And, it sometimes it hurts. Yes. Sometimes the knife feels a little sharper than others, and they're just lessons along the way,
every day is a learning experience. It is, right? And no matter how old we are, you're the same age as me, right?
I'm 49.
Yeah. Well, all right. So you're in the same group almost. Yeah. I'm a little older.
Yeah, 40.
But you learn, and I know too from business and friends, and it's sad, or even family. Sometimes if you're successful or you're following your dream, not everybody is in your corner, and it sucks when sometimes you find out.
Yeah.
That you think they're in your corner, and they're really not.
I feel like, the more things you do and the more people you're around and the more events you get invited to, the more jealous people get. Yeah. The more hate people, the more hatred there is, like here I'm like feeling like I'm living my best life and like I'm on top of the world, And I was hearing you before say something of, you get 1,000 wonderful comments, but it's just that one that affects you, and you're human.
Yeah.
You're human. You have a heart. I mean, I do, and, it hurts when people hurt people. Right.
It's so true. It's so true.
You think somebody's on your side and they're not, and that hurts, but you can't let that get in the way. You really can't. You gotta like, weed out the negative and just go with the positive. Like, I've had people come and go in my life.
Are you happy? Do you feel that the people that would you have changed the people that you were around before? Let's just say, do you think that people hindered you in the last 12 years? There's certain people that hindered you that you had to get rid of in your life?
I mean, listen.
Or not even knowing that they were hindering you and then realizing that they were maybe holding you back because...
I think that people come into your life for reasons and seasons, and I think that, like not everybody's rooting for you, or they're rooting for you for the wrong reasons, and I think that everybody in my life that I've met along the way, I feel like you make a memory with somebody.
Yeah.
And good or bad, at one time, it was a good memory, So I try to say, like, I say this, I have my friends since I'm a child, I have childhood friends, and they say you can count on one hand if you can count on one hand how many friends you got, you're a blessed person.
My grandma always said that on one hand, if you could say it, you're blessed.
But, I feel like as you go through life, not everybody's going to be on the same page as you. You
grow out of people sometimes.
You
don't mean to.
You don't mean to.
But it happens.
And sometimes things happen in life, and you wonder why someone feels a certain way, or why something happened, or why did the situation end up this way. But I have to tell you that as I grow older in life, it's easier for me to let people go because my happiness is within myself. Like nobody's going to take care of me the way I'm going to take care of me. Nobody's paying my bills.
No, that's so true.
Nobody's doing those things.
Nope.
So, sometimes, a good person does a bad thing.
Yeah.
Or a bad situation happens, and listen, you choose to have that person in your life or you choose not to. That's your choice. At 49 years old, I'm an adult. I've grown. I have the choice whether I want you in my life or not.
And
it's my choice.
That's so true. And that's
my choice.
So true. And I say that all the time. It's so much easier for me to let people go at this age than years. When you're younger, it's harder to let people go because you're so emotionally invested. But then when you get older, you're like, do I need this drama in my life?
Yeah.
Do I need this effect that somebody's going to put on me? Because you're getting older and you just don't want that. You just want peace.
Peace.
Right? You want peace.
I was just ready to say, I want to put my head down at night and I want peace. That's what I want. Listen, be kind to people. It doesn't hurt.
No.
It doesn't cost anything to be kind, And on my shittiest day, I put a smile on. Because, you just never know. You never know what the next person's going through. And sometimes I say to myself, wow, like I bitch, like, oh, I got this, I got that. But, there's so many people in the world that have it so much worse. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed to have what I have. I may not have everything I want.
But you have everything you need.
But I have everything I need. Yeah, I say, God's not going to give you everything that you want, but he's definitely going to give you everything that you need.
It's so true.
Yeah,
it's so true. And listen, being I have my own business too, and I know I worked, and I was just telling the last guest, I said, when people look at you, they don't care how you got there. They don't care.
Yeah,
they see what you have, and then they're jealous of it, but they don't care how you got there. They don't care what it took and what you had to go through to get what you have.
Yeah.
And that's what's sad about how people are.
Yeah.
And you know what? Those are the people that you don't need around you because they're not wishing you well.
Yes.
They're just not wishing you well.
I feel like now at this point in the game, I need to surround myself with positive people that are ambitious, people that, want to have a better life for themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Different levels of people.
And
sometimes the people that you do grow up with, like I'm like you, I have friends that I've been friends with my whole life.
Yeah.
Do I have those friends in every single one of them in my daily life every day? No.
But that's what, but I have
that's what a friend is. I have a few that are in my life every day, but not everybody because I have to love them from a distance. Some
Correct.
of them.
Listen, the definition of a true friend is someone that you can pick up the phone, whether it be every day, every month, or every year.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I have friends that I, grew up with that we shoot each other a text message for the holidays, for birthdays. We don't forget about each other.
Right.
That's a friend.
That's a true friend.
You know what I'm saying? That's a true friend.
You can pick up where you left off.
Exactly. Life gets busy. Yeah. I'm all over the place. Sometimes I don't even know whether I'm coming or going. And I'm not a good, you text me, I'm not a good texter backer. I'm not, I don't call back all the time. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I'm not your friend. I say, I'm a person that I'm a good friend. If I'm not your friend anymore, it's because you gave me the scissors to cut the rope. I'm loyal to the soil.
Yeah.
I really truly am. If I love you and you're good to me.
You love you with the whole heart.
I love you with my whole heart. Yeah. And that's where the disappointment in life comes in sometimes, with people. You learn a lot about people and their actions and, what you would do for someone doesn't mean that they're going to do it for
Absolutely
you. Expectations.
100%.
Expectations. Like I just, I used to get excited about things, when somebody said, I'm going to do this for you or, this is going to happen. I used to get so excited. I used to work myself up and, and then came the disappointment when it didn't happen, or the person didn't follow through, or, and now I just live my life like with no expectations. Like if something I think is going to happen for me, when it happens, I'll celebrate it.
Right.
Until
You're
then,
not going to expect it or count on it until it happens.
Correct.
Because that's how you do get disappointed.
You do, and you learn. You learn throughout life to do that. To get yourself excited to only be disappointed. Yeah.
And you know what? When you have your own business and when you do this, your whole concept, your whole company, you developed yourself. That was it. Your brain. You did that.
That was it.
You developed it on your own. You did it. That was you. That was all you.
And I'm a one-person show.
Yeah.
I mean, like in the beginning, I made it. I packed it. I sent it to the stores. I advertised it. I mean, like I am like the walking salad dressing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can sell. Like nobody's gonna sell it the way I can. But
because you know your product and
I
you
do,
love it.
But also too, the product speaks for itself.
It's a good product.
Everybody wants it. Everybody's using it. It's
good.
Not only looks pretty. It's in a glass bottle. Looks pretty. The presentation of it. It tastes good and it's good for you.
Yeah.
Keto friendly, Weight Watcher friendly, low in sugar, low in sodium. The only one that's not gluten free is the ginger soy because of the soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
But they're great. You can use them for your salads, or you can marinate anything: chicken, fish, shrimp, steak, potatoes, vegetables, pastas, anything. Use your imagination. There's just so many things you can do with it.
Are a lot of places in Jersey using them in their restaurants and things like that?
No, I'm strictly website only. Going through the stages of JJ's Own. I was in Whole Foods. I was in Stu Leonard's. I was in ShopRite. And those places took me to the next level, and then from there to the next level. And I actually had a situation with ShopRite. I used to own a salad bar. During this process, I opened a salad bar, the JJ's Own salad bar. Cool. I'd make all these amazing salads, create all these salads, but the only salad dressing you could use was JJ's Own. Okay. And I got a deal with ShopRite. And I left my small little place and moved to a tremendous warehouse because I had to fill
a lot of orders.
Over 350 locations.
Right.
Well, ShopRite, they kind of failed me. They picked up their first order and never picked up the second order.
Really?
And never, ever called me back. I communicated with a gentleman multiple times back and forth, and he kind of totally forgot about me. And I had my customers and viewers and followers saying, I'm in this ShopRite, it's not there. Where is it? How come it's not there? And I went back and forth for almost a year. And I feel in some way they were like a demise for me. Wow. I went from a small place,
And then you moved into a big place.
I moved into a big place. More overhead. I was paying $850 a month in the salad bar, and I went from $850 a month to $6,500 a month, and that was just to walk in the door.
Right. Forget about all the employees, everybody else.
Correct. All the ingredients, everything that comes along. Everybody thinks
and that's what people don't look at. That's what
the behind the scenes of it.
The behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's a lot. Listen. You look at a bottle. You have the label, the nutritional value, the cap, the seal, everything, accounts for something.
Yep.
And it's not that easy, and it's just what they did to me. I maintained it. I stayed there for 2 years, and then I said to myself, "What am I doing here? I'm paying all this rent. The place was so big that I only used a small portion of it."
Right.
But I feel like shame on you, ShopRite. Such a big company that you came in to a. I was small. I mean, small company, and you did this to me, and you never responded back. Never nothing. Like they didn't care that they just, basically drowned a company. That was doing so well. And I said I got to get out of here. And then I found this new place. And then this happened. So I feel like, a lot of things have been happening in my life, and, I feel like God is just weeding out everything along the way. Yeah. even people too.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what?
People,
this
things.
is going to steer you to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Listen, I was like, why did this happen to me? Why does this have to happen? You know, but there's reasons why we have to go through certain things in life. And we have to go through that to get to where we're supposed to go. For whatever, I mean, we might not want to go down that road.
Yeah.
That road might be dark and scary and sketchy.
Yeah.
However, you might have to go there to get to that promised land.
It's the journey. Listen, it's the destination that you're ultimately looking for, but you got to enjoy the journey along the way.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't enjoy the journey along the way, then why are you even on the path?
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
you have to
listen,
be able to enjoy it.
I've had victories and I've had failures, and I've learned from both of them. You know, and listen, whatever comes my way, I accept it. Look, I'm here with you today.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be here today.
And I'm glad you're here too.
You know, and I say I'm going to experience everything that life has to give to me. You know, like I want to do a lot of things. I'm not done yet, and I'm never going to give up. You know. And
you know what? You're wearing that, and not just wearing it on your chest as a montage, but you are wearing that as you're exuding that because you're saying, I'm not giving up at what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop. And that's where successful people are. Yeah. You know, success is not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not easy. It
comes from the word success, shine, because you're succeeding somebody else. It's not easy to get to that point. It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard
work. It is hard.
It's hard
work.
It's every day. You know, I used to walk into Whole Foods when I first, Whole Foods is so separately. Like if you're not on a planogram, you have to be invited into each store. I used to walk into Whole Foods with a Ziploc bag of vegetables and a little container of my dressing. And say, you guys got to taste this. I got to be on your shelves. And that's how I did it. Every day in a new store trying to get in. And then finally, one person listened. And I made it into my first Whole Foods. My first demo, I sold probably 14 cases of the basil vinaigrette that the manager came over and said, "What is this?" Every person on the lanes have it. And it just kind of like went from there, but it's not been easy. It's hard. There were times when I really thought I was going to give up, and many times people get into your head. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But, and when you're at your lowest, people like to kick you. Of course, they like to kick you. Misery loves company.
Because like you said, that misery loves company. They're not happy with their life.
Yes.
And they want to see you down. And and even the friends, even your same friends, I'm sure, when you were down with them in the same area, let's just say you were feeling your woes, they were your friend, and then all of a sudden when you started feeling better, that's when they walk away. That's what's sad. Some people. I
feel too like, I'm going to say the word entitlement. People feel entitled because if I'm your friend and you're going somewhere or you're doing something, they feel entitled because they're your friends.
Right.
To be able to be there and to do those things. And when they're not invited, and not for any reason, but just because that's what it calls for. Sometimes I'm not invited with a +1.
Right.
Or sometimes, I'm invited with only one.
Right.
And I feel like, that the entitlement that people feel entitled.
They have to be with, and if they're not with you, then they're like, oh, you didn't take me with you to, well, I can't always take everybody with me. It's the same thing. I know, and I understand that. I had friends before, like when, especially in the beginning, I'm like, I can't take 15 people with me.
Yeah. Listen,
I would love to.
I would love to. Listen, I'm a person like I love
if it's
the
my
more the
party,
merrier.
If it's my party,
correct.
Absolutely. Everybody could come.
Yes.
With me, everybody, bring truckloads if you want.
I hear you. I love a good party and I love everybody, but sometimes not, you can't bring everybody, and sometimes people don't understand that, and I think that's where the jealousy comes in, and that's where the digs, and that's the part that that's the hardest of
Do
it
you feel
all.
like it's because if you're like invited to, let's just say you go somewhere with, let's just say, like I go somewhere with like Catherine Naducci, like she's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And we're down and I'm walking through, me and her go down to Mulberry Street a lot and go hang out in different restaurants and stuff. I can't take 5 of my friends with me because I'm with Catherine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I know what I mean. But it's like, it's not because I don't want them to come, but what am I can't tell Catherine, can I take my 5 friends with me to go?
You know, there's
because
certain
people are giving her stuff, and then I'm with her, and then they're like doing stuff with me and her and things like that. So it's like, it doesn't mean like you don't want them there, but you just can't.
You know, certain people are, I'm friends with certain people and I can't bring everybody everywhere I go.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, I'm not that person. Like I would, if you invite me somewhere and you invite me, I'm never going to say, can I bring?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would never do that.
I wouldn't do
but
that
if it's me, I bring them all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's who I am.
I can't just say I would not. I'm not that person that I'm going to ask if I could bring somebody with me.
Neither am I.
Neither
am I.
Just won't. So,
yeah.
There's one time on my birthday, I did ask Sabrina from the Cover Girls if I could bring more than one person with me to the freestyle show.
Yes.
But that was my birthday. But otherwise, I never, ever, ever ask. I just don't, you know what I mean? I'm just not like, if somebody says, Jen, here's an extra ticket if you want to bring somebody, I'm grateful or whatever.
Yes, me too.
But
I'm the same way.
And I get that. And I do get that. It's hard because you know what, when you're elevating yourself to something, now I'm not saying that my friend or your friends are on a different, or like beneath you or me.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But if they're not aspiring to do something else and we're more in the public eye, and then now it's like, these are the things I have to do to keep myself and my business out there.
Correct. You know, it's my life. You know, I wake up in the morning and I'm go. Yeah. From the minute I wake up to the minute I go to sleep. You know, I'm constantly thinking. I'm constantly trying to, like, think of new things. You know, I do food reviews on TikTok. Yeah. You know, I'm constantly going to different places, and sometimes I can't be accessible to everybody. I'm one person, and I'm one person running this business, trying to, continue its growth. Right. I can't be everywhere at the same time. I can't please every person at the same time, and that's where, the friend comes in, Some friends will understand that, and some won't. Some friends won't. And
how about your family? I know you're close to your mom, right?
I'm very close to my mom.
I've seen her on your page. I saw the whole thing with what was it? Was it not Ricky Martin?
Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony.
Yes.
I love him.
She was scammed.
That's terrible.
She's 82 years old. She was scammed. Horrible. She loves Mark Anthony. And I took to social media. And, within a few hours, I was talking with, Mark Anthony's people. We got to go to 2 of his shows, and we got to go backstage for him to tell her that it wasn't him. I lost my dad 4 years ago during COVID, and he was like the love of my life. He's the only man in the world I've ever loved, He was my heart, he's my twin, And when my mother and father married 50 years, great childhood, growing up,
Is it just you?
No, I have I have other brothers and sisters as well. But I was daddy's girl. I'm the baby.
Yeah.
And I could do no wrong in his eyes. And we lost him during COVID, in the early part of COVID in April, when it first started. And I thought my whole world was gonna, come to an end. But, God gives you the strength, to keep going, and I don't know how we did that. We kept him home for a little while. He started to get a fever. We kept him home as long as we could. And I said, we can't keep him home anymore. We got to take him to the hospital, and this was when COVID was like, they said that like if you went to the hospital, it was in the air. Right. And
what they did to us, man.
I made arrangements. I had him, picked up in a private ambulance, and we took him, and as he walked, as they, strolled him out, I said to my mother and my sister, say goodbye to Daddy now, because I don't believe he's going to come back. And it was probably one of the hardest moments of my life, you know, and every single day I laid down with that phone on my chest waiting for the phone call, you know. They had, when he first went in, he was tested for COVID. He came out negative.
Right.
By the time he got to the hospital, they called me up and they said, your father tested positive for COVID pneumonia. My mother and I went to get checked and we were both positive without symptom. Mm-hmm. So we had to stay in a house where my father was dying in the hospital and we couldn't even be next to one another, or we couldn't even go see him. A man that was loved by so many and that was never alone a day in his life died all by himself. I watched them die on my cell phone, on a FaceTime. And it was the hardest, you know, probably 13 days of my life, you know, and it was terrible, you know. But what I say now is that in the realistic world, he can't be here, but he's got the best seat in the house.
Yeah,
you know,
he does, and he's watching over you.
Yes, he's watching,
and he wants you to be successful.
He sure does. Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going with this now? Like, where do you see? I know you're gonna eventually. Do you think you're gonna move into a new spot?
Yes, I'm currently searching for a new location.
And staying in Jersey.
I'm staying in Jersey all day. Jersey all day, every day. But yeah, I'm looking for a new spot in New Jersey. Or I may honestly even entertain a manufacturer. Mm-hmm. You know, okay. if it's the right fit for me, honestly, Jen, I might even entertain someone purchasing JJ's Own.
Well,
you know,
you know what?
There's so many things out there, you know, and there's so much. I feel like the one problem I have with JJ's Own, it's not selling it, it's not the product, it's getting it out to more people.
It's hard to get.
You know,
it's not easy
hard
to get a product out. It's very hard. There's so many products, and now because of the internet and social media, people are just flooded with so many things to make it stand out. But look at what you've accomplished so far. You could do it.
Yeah.
You could do it.
I'll figure it out. Yeah, never
JJ,
give up.
You could do it.
I'm never gonna give up.
You could do that. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna have you back here. And I know, I guarantee you, I'm going to either hear you either sold it or you bought it.
Yeah,
I know, because you're hitting the pavement right now, ready to do it.
I'm a hustler from the beginning. I really am.
Those are the only ones that are gonna make it.
And I stay true to it. You know, I stay true to what I say, what I do. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. It's important.
That's where this is where it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. Just keep on keeping on. That's what I always say. Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking.
Tell everybody where we could find you and where they could purchase JJ.
Yes.
JJ's Own.
jjsown.com. Mm-hmm. And I am on TikTok, JJ the Flavor Rican.
I love that. It's hysterical.
And then I'm on Instagram, just Joy, JUSJOY 21.
And I'm gonna tag her and everything that after we air the show. This was a great show. I'm so glad you came in. We finally made it happen.
Absolutely. I'm so excited
I could sit and talk to you for hours. I love listening to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No, you and I met a couple.
Absolutely.
We met a few years ago and we connected. And I just, I think you have such a great story, and I love the whole thing about you. It's just, it's good. I think you're a good person.
Thank you.
And you deserve
thank you so much.
All the success in the world. You really do.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Well, that's it.
Yes.
And it's going to happen for you because you're going to make it happen.
Thank you.
You're a go-getter.
I am.
Thank you again for being on my show. I'd love to have you back again.
Thank you. I'd love to come back.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
I can't wait.
in your gear.
And I forgot to show I forgot to show. I'm going to be wearing this. I'm going to put this on my my Instagram too, of me cooking in this.
Yeah, I hope I leave you hungry with every bite.
I love it. I'm going to do with no clothes on in front of my husband. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And everybody, I want to thank my sponsor, Dolce Bean Cafe. If you are interested in great espresso, cappuccino, lattes, all imported directly from Italy, paninis, pastries, gelato, please visit them at Dolce Bean Cafe in the heart of Ridgewood, Queens. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to Dolce. Thank you for tuning in to Cats and Pudding, and have a great day.